Hi everyone, it's Melissa and I'm here with e.l.f. today to talk about, I'm getting so excited that I'm like talking really fast. Okay. Hi everyone, it's Melissa and I'm here today with e.l.f. to talk to you about the new Camo Concealer. It is so incredible, it is full coverage, gives you a flawless finish, long wearing, matte, and best of all, it comes in 18 shades. Yes, you heard that right, 18 shades. Actually, that's not the best part. The best part is that it's $5. So I'm gonna be sharing my best tips and tricks that you can do using this concealer, so just keep on watching. The first way I like to use Camo Concealer is to spot correct any imperfections like blemishes that might have popped up overnight, like my friend here. So pick a concealer shade close to your natural skin tone. For me, I like to use Tan Sand, and I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it directly to my friend here. So I like the large doe foot applicator. It makes it really easy to apply to the skin. So I'm just gonna go directly in and apply it right here. In even, I think I have another, he has a friend over here too, so I'm just gonna cover that one up. And it does dry fairly quickly, so before it has a chance to dry, I'm gonna take my concealer sponge and blend it out. And I like to lightly pat with the area that's picking up the concealer. And once it's blended out just a bit, I take a clean side and blend out the edges to ensure that the most coverage stays on top of the blemish. So essentially you're diffusing the concealer out into the rest of your foundation or the rest of the skin. So lightly pat on top of the blemish and then diffuse on the outer edge, just like that. The other way I like to use Camo Concealer is to highlight and contour, and I'm not the kind of person that does it all at the same time because I find that it ends up looking messier on me, so I'm gonna show you a beginner's way of contouring and highlighting. So one of the main rules is to always pick a concealer shade that is 1 to 2 shades lighter and 1 to 2 shades darker for your highlight and contour shades. I'm gonna start with highlighting, so again, one at a time, makes it a lot easier to blend and it just ends up looking a lot cleaner. At least that's what I've learned. So I'm gonna go in with medium beige as my under eye color. And I like to apply it and blend it out as I go, so that way I can easily work with the concealer and blend it out seamlessly into the rest of the skin. So I'm taking the shade medium beige, and again, the large doe foot applicator makes it so easy to apply directly underneath the eyes. So I'm gonna create what I call an upside down triangle, starting from this inner corner and going down. So I go down and then this way. So I create this little upside down triangle, and then I take my sponge and I blend it out while it's still nice and wet, so that way I can easily blend it out into the rest of the skin. And if you want, you can also drag this concealer onto the eyelid and use it as a primer. This concealer works incredible as an eyeshadow primer because it does have that long wearing matte finish. So as I'm blending out my under eye highlight, as I'm finishing it up, I'll take whatever's left over on the sponge and also apply it to the eyelid. So as I'm finishing up blending it out, I take a look at the under eyes and see if there's any shadows still left over, any darkness, and if there is, I just go in with a little more in what I like to call the crevice of the eye. I know there's an official word for it, but we're just gonna call it the crevice. So I apply it right here, that little indent that we all have underneath our eye, just a little more to really brighten up the eyes. Continue blending it out, and then you can take a look at the difference between this side and this side, and you can see the concealer is giving us a nice clean slate for eyeshadow. I mean, it's basically like 2, 3, 4 products in one. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. Another thing that I also like to do if you don't like to add concealer to the center of the face, so I think highlighting underneath the eyes looks incredible on everyone, but I also like highlighting the forehead, bridge of the nose, cupid's bow, and chin, but for some people it can feel like a lot of concealer. So instead of going in directly with the applicator onto the skin, as I blend out the under eyes, I again take whatever's left over on the sponge and just lightly pat it on to the center. So you still get that highlight effect, but you don't have a lot of product on the skin. like a new woman. Okay, now we're ready to contour, and again, you want to pick a concealer shade that is 1 to 2 shades darker. I also like to pay attention to the undertone, so some of the darker concealers can have more of like a golden undertone, which looks great if you're going for more of a warm contour, but I like more of a shadow, like to create more of like a chiseled effect. So when looking at the darker shades, for example, this one would be 1 to 2 shades darker, but I really love the undertone of this guy. So, and I also like this one. I mean, there's so many options. I think I'm just gonna go with the 1 to 2 shades darker, not to make it complicated. So I'm gonna go with Deep Chestnut as my contour shade. And again, we're gonna use the doe foot applicator to apply it directly to the skin, which is amazing because it's gonna give you a nice guideline, nice sharp lines when chiseling out the face. So we're gonna start with the hollows of the cheeks. I'm gonna take that doe foot applicator, and you can either do a line or little swipes. I'm gonna do a couple little swipes just like that, or you can just feel for the hollows of your cheek and go just like that. So again, working in small sections, I'm gonna take the sponge and I'm gonna blend it out. So as I'm blending out this concealer, I'm blending up. You don't wanna blend down because that can drag the face down. So I'm blending up and bringing it up along the hairline. A little goes a long way with this concealer because it has such an amazing coverage. So really make use of that extra concealer that's on the sponge and just diffuse it across the areas that you're trying to contour. So you can see I'm able to bring it all the way up along the hairline. And as I'm blending it out, I'll go in with a little more concealer and just lightly dot along the hairline. And again, blend it out. And then just continue going around the entire face. Just like that. Isn't this so much easier than doing it as a one-step? I don't know, when I do it as a one-step, I feel like the highlight and contour just all mush together and then it doesn't look like a contour. With this, I feel like you can see the distinct contour and the highlight. For the nose, I feel like I don't need a ton of contouring because I have a pretty small nose. Cater the contour to the structure of your face, so really decide what it is that you want to contour, what you want to highlight. Don't go based off of someone else's bone structure. So for me, I have a small nose, so I really just like to contour right here and then blend it up to create a natural shadow. I'm not necessarily trying to make my nose look smaller because it's already pretty tiny, so I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this up. I also like to pinch the sponge to give me a really nice clean application or a nice blend. And then this always tends to happen to me when contouring the nose. I tend to blend over the center. If that does happen, just go back in with a tiny bit of your highlight shade. So this is medium beige again. And I'm just gonna clean up that contour. Same goes for any area that you've contoured. If it goes a little too overboard, maybe it goes into the high points of the face, or there's too much on the forehead and you've made your forehead a little too small, just go back in with the highlighting shade. So for me, I'm gonna do just 1 or 2 dots right here, just to even out that contour because right now I accidentally blended it in. So this way we can balance it out. What I find truly shocking about this concealer is that I've now blended out my highlight, my contour, and there's barely any creasing underneath my eyes. My eyes, no matter what, always crease. And I've used other matte concealers, but this truly has very, very minimal creasing, so you barely need any powder to set this. It sort of sets itself. But if you like to use powder and if it gives you a sense of security, then I would definitely add just a little bit of powder to any areas that might crease up. So I barely have any creasing under the eyes. So I'm just gonna take the e.l.f. translucent setting powder and a small brush and lightly dust underneath the eyes. No baking required. So I'm just gonna lightly dust the translucent powder on any areas that might eventually crease. And for the rest of the face, I'm taking a large fluffy brush. I'm gonna swirl it around in the translucent powder, knock off the excess, and then just lightly pat it on to the rest of the face. Mainly focusing on the areas that get oily or shiny, like the T-zone and around the nose. Now if you want to look a little more dewy, you can also go in with the e.l.f. Dewy Mist to bring back some more of that dew and not be as matte. So I'm just going to give myself 1 or 2 mists of the spray and we're done. I lied, more like 10 sprays. Oh my god, it smells like coconut macaroons. It smells so good. So those are just a few of the ways that I like using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. It is so versatile. You can really use it however it is that you would like. You can sheer it out because it is so full coverage to get more of a natural finish. You can highlight, contour, spot conceal. You can even use it for those days when you don't want to wear foundation but want a little coverage. It's whatever you want it to be. I hope you guys enjoyed spending this time with me. Definitely check out the new Camo Concealer by e.l.f. Cosmetics. It is incredible, and the best part about it, I've already said it a million times, but it's only $5. You really can't beat that for the quality. So check it out. Why not buy all 18 shades if it's only $5? You can pick yours up at elfcosmetics.com, Ulta, Target, and Walmart. I can't wait to see your looks, and I will see you soon. Bye.